This video is called The Path of the Servant of God, and I can't wait another 20 minutes or so for the sun to rise because of the fumes. Okay, so what is the path of the servant of God and why? Listen carefully and think about how it could be any other way. To thirst for the Spirit of God is to thirst for the Spirit of righteousness and the Spirit of true love. Number one, he or she starts with thirsting for the Spirit of righteousness, which is the Spirit of God and the Spirit of love, which means they insist on the best order or the divine order out of love. Kind of like someone wishing for their child to have the best of everything. They wish for humanity to have the best order in order to convey the Spirit of God and to interpret the true message. This is how they start. Right? Where do you look for the Spirit of God? You're thirsting for it. You're looking for it. You want the best order. You want the truth. Number two, then it goes toward love, right? Romantic love, true love. Whether or not you have a loving family, if you are truly naturally inclined to be the servant of God, right? To be loyal to God, you are going to be passionate. You're passionate about serving God. You're loving the Lord thy God with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul, all your being. Okay? So this means you're looking for love in general. And you're loving the Spirit of God in others. So a man, whether he breaks it down this way or not, is looking for a woman who can truly romantically fulfill him. He's naturally attracted to her, especially where it matters most, and this often expresses itself through her appearance. Okay. The person asks themselves, what about me can I emphasize in order to gain this potential mate, right? This person I desire, okay? Or a person I might desire in the future. This is the difference between raw core, right? The core of the Spirit, right? The point, okay? Versus illusion-based rays, right? Ray versus raw, okay? Versus sun rays, right? This guy's kind of a good person. I'm going to try for it, right? I'm kind of a good person. I'm going to put that out there. No. You want to truly be a good person and show them that about yourself. So the servant of God is going to say, hey, I'm not just some kind of namby-pamby conformist. No, I'm not that. Okay? I'm trying to show her the good in me. Okay? And there's no reason that she shouldn't be receptive if she's a good person, especially when the contrast is considered. The enemies of God are going to downplay the contrast and deal in illusion and fanatically enforce social norms like grammar and education and wealth and the ability to provide. Okay. Jesus did not emphasize that, neither did his 12 disciples. Okay, so even in their story, which I ultimately do not believe is an effective way to convey truth, and we'll get into that momentarily. Okay, even in their story, they see it my way. Trying to make yourself appealing and then try to talk to a potential girlfriend becomes the logical path. If you're stupid enough to kind of try when you don't even believe that you're appealing in the first place, you're going to quickly learn why it's better to appeal to something in the type of person that you want. A rich, evil person, okay, is appealing to an evil woman. Okay? A person that can provide and is lukewarm is appealing to a lukewarm person. But a lukewarm person doesn't cut it. They're rejected. Okay? So a good person is appealing to a good woman. And if there's not many people like him, then it's a clear-cut case that she should go to him. The man is to protect the woman. She can't protect herself, and she's a fool if she thinks she can. And this is also part of martial art principles. Would you rush a tank, with just your fists clenched, Well, if you really had to, yes. But not otherwise. A woman must know that she cannot protect herself from this society. And if she can't find a good man, she's better off dead than being defiled and enslaved. The female needs to know the good man is going to be persecuted, and the bad man tends to approach her in a socially normative manner. which means to be very skeptical of the socially normative manner. Her path is discernment and receptivity to a good man. She cannot serve God unless she is receptive to a good man. She cannot serve God unless she is receptive to Pharaoh. And in this day and age, when all marriages are based on false pretenses, no woman has an excuse to reject Pharaoh. Why? Because it's an illusion, rape cult-based society. Even the marriage is legalized by Babylon's system and pedophile priests and other people who call themselves holy men who are outside the divine order. Okay? Think about it. It might be well-meaning. And quite often, people divorce each other based on money, when money is the root of all evil, and everyone has heard that saying. I mean, what more proof do you need? These marriages are not solidified by God, and people are getting divorces as a result. Not to mention they're staying with each other for the wrong reasons. For a whole myriad of reasons I don't have the time to go over. It's a whole video, it's a whole series by itself why marriage is invalidated. It is invalid. Okay. Number 3, the marriage outside the divine order. Mind you, don't make that mistake. Number 3, the person is going to emerge as a hero, okay, in the modern context, especially with fame suppressed. There is no being a man of God without taking on a Horus perspective and being a hero. Okay, Heros means master. This leads to a martial art position, or seeking him with the true top martial art position, whose fame is going to be suppressed. Babylon's media is not going to embrace the top martial artist who is of God. Who they have attached themselves to starts to give away their character. You know them by their works, right? We don't need the Bible to tell us this. We should know this already. They are going to explore religion and any competing philosophy. If your philosophy is not competing, okay, and is not condensed and logical, why should I bother to explore it? My argument was condensed and logical. I am the top martial artist, and you must obey me. Okay, I've went on and on about why that is, but my key points are straight to the point. If you don't have key points that are straight to the point, why should I consider when you don't even have a competing philosophy? Why are you going to compete in a way when you don't get to the point? Which is also why the Bible, the Quran, and the Torah are pretty much useless. They are systems where you have to extract the truth painstakingly so, and you rely on people who are allowed to teach you in public and so on, and have established themselves, right? This is a failed idea. Babylon allows for this guy to teach you. They don't persecute him to the point where they can't teach you effectively, where they're not stumbling on their words and whatnot. You got to take that with a grain of salt. So the sword of scripture that they have presented is a sword that does not fit. It may as well be a sword that's made for a 500-foot man that is dull and huge. What use is it to the man who is the ideal proportions for a martial artist? It's not. And you can work the angles on that one. I'm taking a little longer than I wanted to. So it goes back to, what is the point of the sword? The point isn't to mislead people and to brag about your knowledge of Scripture. It is to extract the morality from the Bible and to focus on what matters most. Okay, the divine order, morality, reproduction. Okay, divine reproduction, or don't reproduce at all. Carrying your cross, a willingness to sacrifice everything and put God, but the Spirit of God, put God first. These are the things that matter most. The things that matter most have been pushed to the side while people argue about what this scripture means and what that scripture means. That is a dull and useless and broken sword. So I present a more condensed argument, with 15 or so principles and videos leading up to this one. Okay, with a more short book, holy book. It starts off with, there is no spirit outside of the divine martial art order, so it gets right to the point. This is where everyone has it wrong in their other religions. There's no spirit outside of the divine martial art order. You may as well be a babbling idiot. That's why it's Babylon mystery, right? You're babbling on, and you've put the mist over who Eri is, A-Ra, Haru. The H is the fence. It can be removed. It's the difference between the divine order and the divine order, where the truth must come to the light. Why obscure it? You know, especially when a lot of people are mentally challenged. Why would you make the truth complex? So one must ask yourself, why aren't they receptive? It goes back to their lack of martial art warrior genes. You are paying the price for your forefathers and mothers' lack of submission to the martial art order. And now you're not sensitive to injustice, you're not sensitive to the spirit, and you're not receptive to it. Okay? Your lack of sensibility, your lack of sense. This goes back to the idea of idol. Your eye, your ability to perceive the spirit, is dulled because your parents reproduced in the idea, the Luciferian energy, of a Lucy, is what they're called in Igbo culture, okay? Of idols, of false deities, of graven images, of statues of Greco-Roman deities and Sumerian deities and fake Egyptian deities and so on and so forth. Right? A Lucy backwards with interchangeable vowels, vow to El, which Lord are you making a vow to? The idea of God and almighty, all-powerful, and all-knowing, or some nonsensical bullshit that superimposed itself on that idea. Okay, a Lucy backwards, I sell a, right? You sold your soul, and the soul, brother, the one who connects to God. Soul meaning son, soul also meaning your soul. You sold him out for what? So you can be like Apollo and embrace science, you know? So you can be like Zeus and emphasize, I'm in charge of this world, right? I'm on Mountain Olympus. I'm in the seat, right? Satan, Set-an, Anu, okay, Anunnaki, and Seat-an. Which goes back to Isis, who's a Set, who sold out the divine order when she married Osiris and tried to redefine things and put Osiris above Ra. You should put no other god above the idea of the marshaling force of God, which is expressed through nature in the symbol of the sun. The heavens declare the glory of God. So this is the path of the servant of God, and one should understand the seriousness of not submitting to the divine order. This is what led to the 60 million preventable deaths. When you do not submit to the divine order, you are not cleansed of your blood guilt from complicity with idol-based cultures. Anything but giving the top martial artist his rightful place and submitting to his spiritual wisdom is cheating God. Who knows better about God than he who perceives the spirit, spirit, the spear of destiny, the spear of the angel, the spear of St. George, so on and so forth. What are they really referring to? Read Genesis 41:45. Why did they give him the priestess of On? I go as far as to say that's a mistake. The spirit does not come from the woman. The woman submits to the man. The spirit comes through the man. I and the Father are one, not I and the mother. They're right about that. The mother is only divine when she receives the divine spirit through the man, which is the natural way. God is supernatural, expressing through nature and the spiritual realm.